over the two favorites to win all of NASA, seeds 1 and 2. So very impressive teams to get here in this match right here. Going into it, it will be an Atlas Lab Game 1, and something I'm finding a little notable is the way Heavy Metal Gundam drafted is to pinch Pensando's goalie pool. They banned Juno and first picked them now, and that forced them on the era here.
And I was literally just talking about it earlier about how Pensando has been working to expand his character pool because it was seen as Flying Blobba's biggest weakness coming into this season here. And obviously in playoffs against Heavy Metal Gundam, who have been looking phenomenal themselves, I think it's going to be put to the ultimate test, right? I think this is a pretty good indicative game of whether or not Pensando's efforts have come to fruition this season.
Yeah, and we've seen in the last series the efficacy of this forward duo from Flying Blobbos here. The character picks, too, the Rune and the Rasmus, have been working very well in tandem. Fire Madden just covering so much space, and J-Man capitalizing off of that. It's been working very well for them, and it looks like it's working very well in this series already. Getting both barriers, scoring the first goal, and forcing out Tragic's flip here very notably.
Looking into this right now, J-Man going to be staggered, sent off the map of power play here in favor of oncoming traffic. Oh no, with strike from Pensando means that the goalie barrier is going to go down. A rare mechanical misplay here. Josh with every cooldown though to work with, unfortunately, going to have it blocked away from him as the power play finally comes to an end. Stay Forever though almost gets it, but no, Fireman and Pensando are able to clear it out. Josh here with a flip if it's needed. The banish comes through. Good elusive here from Tragic though. KOs are soon to maybe be exchanged between the two teams here as we enter overtime. Arenado now being formed, but Stay Forever going to be able to win the topside strike war, going to be able to send it away and heal up with a vicious fan brace. Firemat is now with flip as well, has to use it, and J-Man and takes that pass and rolls with it, sends it into the top side of the map. Tragic, fortunately caught a little bit off guard there.
Yeah, part of Fire Madden's pathing as he was staggered there was prioritizing that orb first for the HP, but second, that orb gave him enough for that flip, forcing it out. And because of that flip, he was able to get that open shot on the net there. Fire Madden playing for his life and, importantly, surviving versus the forward duo of Estelle and Kazan. Two characters very good at confirming that kill. So him being alive to get that flip off in the first place was very good for him here. Going to this next point, the double barrier is honestly looking very possible. However, J-Man is taken out here. In terms of health bar, the kill confirm might come in too, but Zay seems more focused on scoring right now.
Let's see, one goalie barrier going to go down, now an open net for the side of Heavy Metal Gun, and the piercing shot's going to be there. J-Man, though, looking to get his hands on the core, exchanging positions with his midfielder for just a moment. A good pillar, though, from Fire Madden. Be able to find that clear through. Pensano going to have a little bit of damage threatened onto him, but the orb is going to come back up. In the meantime, though, his midfielder is going to go down, and the arrow, ooh, an excellent strike. Buys them a little bit more time, but it's not going to be enough here to save the goalie barrier. It might not be enough time to even get the midfielder back up here as we get in overtime. J-Man now forced to actually play a little bit of goalie here as Fire Madden going to take that role of leading the charge. Finally, the core does go out, but it goes right back in the hands of Pensando. Core going back and forth here as we enter overtime. The banish now coming out, going to be very dangerous. Flip comes through for Tragic. The pull not going to find its mark, and oh no, Stay Forever now is sniped away. But Fire Madden, no way, almost takes the goal out of nowhere with a pillar, but it's not going to be that, not going to happen. And right now, the power play going to be stalled out a little bit. The flip comes out from Josh, though, sends right up, but it's going to be defended away. This Flying Blobba's defense is absolutely phenomenal. Pensando almost taken out again, but is going to stay alive for now. The 50-50 shot from Zay, not going to find a purchase. He is going to try to find one more opportunity, but J-Man now with the with the strike takes that away, and Flying Blobba's an absolutely heroic defense to take that set.
Yeah, and the name of the game really was that defense there. It felt like, honestly, many times Heavy Metal Gundam had strong scoring attempts, but every single time was batted away, defended by not just Pensando, but his two teammates too in the net, and because of that they were able to keep the points alive. Drafting first a Spark of Leadership for J-Man here, who has that starting awakening, Spark of Strength here. It will go into a strong scaling game, as the other two are remaining in draft here. Rune is picking up a team player instead of some core speed. It could prove its value here, especially as these points go longer into overtime, and Era opts for Stacks and Stacks. Heavy Metal Gundam does have a size awakening on Kazan, which is very important. That character is very good with size. And also Josh has 1-2 punch Estelle. The core speed and the damage knockback is very strong for Estelle. It's a good pickup for both teams, honestly. Both teams had a very strong draft going in here. I think Flying Blobbos is a little favored, though, due to J-Man's potential spark scaling.
Mm. And you know, something that I've seen, this has happened twice now. Wow, good play from Fireman right there. Just takes it right under Josh's nose. What I've seen with Rasmus drafting is we've seen a lot more utility picked up in lieu of size. We saw it in the previous game, Coin opting in a hot shot over size when presented to him. And then the game before that, J-Man does exactly what he just did here, where he rejected taking size, right, built different in this situation, even when it was a good deny away from the Kazan. Opted to just go for spark scaling instead. Is there some sort of change here going on with Rasmus and size?
No, Rasmus size is as good as it's always been. I think really what they're looking for is going for that future-proof kind of drafting, because taking that second spark, taking the first spark in draft, is more valuable when you win a set, because the game will have to go longer for you to lose, so you'll always end up seeing those later picks. That's what makes that spark pickup more valuable. It's very likely we see all 4 sparks in this draft, and that provides a lot of draft threat later on.
That makes sense, and that scaling will have to come into fruition. For now, though, unfortunately, we've seen J-Man not on the field very often, basically taken out by Zay immediately with no assistance in some of these situations, and that has led to Flying Blobos losing a little bit of steam here. 2 flips, though, coming out for this defense for the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. 1 flip for a barrier to come through, but not much more from it. It's Tragic now looking to defend. Pensando going to be caught a little bit off guard by the core speed given by the Dorito. The flips there from Josh, but no, the angle is just going to be off by a second there, or just by a pixel there. So now some trick shots coming through from Fireman, not going to find anything, though. A little bit of an overcook. Pensando now trying to defend against Zay, who is a little worse for wear, but has a vicious Van Brace to heal himself back up. Can't be said for J-Man, who almost finds a goal in and of its own right there. Demon angle does come through here. It's Fireman now looking to get it cleared. Zay Forever doesn't use that flip, wants to use it here to knock out J-Man to confirm this KO here, but it's not confirmed at all if Fireman has anything to say about it. But the core unfortunately sails right past him, goes into Josh's hands, and Zay Forever is going to be the one to close out the point.
Yeah, and Zay is playing a pretty patient game on offense, I'm noticing. Whenever he gets the ball, he's allowing Flying Blobos to play resources into him and then responding accordingly, which is exactly what you need when you're playing into a character as reactive as Rune can be, especially on defense. He's playing this matchup very properly, I would say, and it's working out very well for Heavy Metal Gundam this set.
Yeah, and already looking to take another barrier to his name as well. Josh almost taken out by the pendulum swings, but the Rat gets full head in that situation. Now a little bit of a scary situation. Fire Madden here. Oh, the Strike Wars come through for the side of Heavy Metal Gundam, and Zay Forever looking to take it away from the Era. Now coming to find some of that controlled aggression when given the opportunity, but oof. J-Man able to take it with the hook. Josh not able to respond in time with his strike, and we've got a dead even set here.
Yeah, the Rune Pillar and the Rasmus hook provide such an offensive presence onto that corner there. It's really hard for Tragic to find a clear out there without using his flip, as he didn't end up doing. But that does mean he has it for this point 5, which could be very crucial. However, a lot of damage comes into the Heavy Metal Gundam because of that banish. Now it does have ult to work with, so it might not be very effective damage, as they are healing it all up anyway.
Yeah. Now flip from Tragic to defend his bottom side barrier right now. J-Man, again, looking to maybe do something a little bit finessed here. Again, the Pendulum Swing just pixels away from finding the KO, but not going to be found. Josh here with a flip as well. Zay Forever is going to be marching up. Josh actually going to be blocked out by the play from the pillar, but oh no! Oh, Pensando barely able to save it. Josh, though, able to find the KO. The flip's going to be there as well. Fire Madden tries to call it out with the teleport pillar, but it's not going to be found. Josh going to sink that right into the top side of the net, and a close set ends here with an Arrow HMG victory.
Yeah, a very notable power spike from that Size Awakening on Kazan. He has a lot to choose from here. However, one thing that is notable is Rasmus is last in this draft with a spark. He doesn't want that at all. He wants to be early because that stops Zay Forever from picking up this Size Awakening comfortably. And we can see Josh hovering that Spark of Focus, already denying it. The 4-spark dream is completely dead, and now J-Man can only hope to settle for 3. And really that's the highlight of this draft. Nothing else comes in very quickly. The size deny and Rasmus gets specialized training instead. The big notable thing in this draft is the Spark is denied, and the Size Awakening is given to Zay Forever. That is very strong for Heavy Metal Gundam. They're very well posed to win the game off of that draft.
Yeah, I mean, just look at him, right? That strike hitbox is just so big right now. And against someone like the Era, that could be taken advantage of it very, very quickly. So we'll see if Zay Forever, who's been playing so patiently, so well, into this rune now, has an opportunity to really run away with this game. But as of right now, who's running away with the game is Flying Blobos. What a crazy bounce off of that pillar to take it to the bottom side. Fireman properly accredited with that goal. That was a very interesting first point.
Galen was looking good on the offense there, going through completely 3 people on his own with no support from the rune in that moment, taking the barrier. The rune really, with the lingering pillar, got the goal, but J-Man could not be downplayed in his efforts on that offense there. Very well played to him.
Yeah, he's been playing so phenomenally all night so far, and he's looking to continue that, but right now the core has to get into his hands when he's not being pressured with the threat of a KO. So right now he's able to pick up the orb in order to recuperate some of his lost HP, but this buys some time maybe for Heavy Metal Gundam to rally their forces a little bit as well. As the pillar comes out, flip comes through for Tragic, unfortunately not going to be timed correctly. J-Man though going to be sent off the map. Now a flip from Fireman and going to call Tragic out in the reaction check. Tragic does not respond in kind. Now going to be a power play though for Heavy Metal Gundam. Good strike from Pensando though, keeps that goalie barrier alive. The piercing shot just tragically mistimed. The flip now from Zay Forever is going to secure it though, and now the offense is going to be here. No, actually, flip from Josh going to be taken away. J-Man with an opportunity here. The pendulum swing snipes it away. Tragic not able to get that strikeout in time. 2-0 lead in this set here for the Flying Blobos.
Yeah, and a point that looks so bad for them, really, Flying Blobos are showing that they have miracles on their side. Look at the energy on Heavy Metal Gundam. They're all completely no flips. They spent all 3 flips, and Flying Blobos still defended all of it. And because of that, they're looking so well posed in this last potential point on set point here. And if they can find some clean possession on the no-energy team of Heavy Metal Gundam, they can find a very good double barrier. However, a very slow and coordinated game is being played for HMG right now. And they're stalling them out pretty much as these cooldowns are coming back and offense is being set up. HMG is playing this very slowly and patiently. I'm noticing that from them a lot, and it's working out for them so well every time they find it going.
100% agree. It looks like it is the game plan to execute right now. One bully bear is going to go down, but on the flip side, double barrier now found here against the Flying Blobos. Some hopes here for HMG in the set. J-Man though, a flip. That's going to be the first obstacle to get there, as Josh, again, playing very slowly in order to find the best possible opportunity. Tragic as well, so patient here. The flip comes out from J-Man, not going to lose his life, but is going to lose his flip here as overtime strikes. The team player coming through, but it's not going to happen. Zay Forever now looking to hunt that KO, but the specialized trading reversal by J-Man hits him, hits Zay Forever, going to be knocking him out cold. The flip comes through for Tragic. The flip and wait is going to be here. Josh now is tasked with the defense. The black hole spawns just at the worst time for HMG. And now the rune pillar from Fireman and snipes it away. What great plays coming out from both teams, but it's going to be Fireman and walking away with that one.
Another miracle coming right in. I was going to mention HMG has incredible KO power here, especially with that kill confirm. Every time they find a stagger on a Flying Blobos, there's not much evading going on. So closing out the kill is very easy, but there it is proving me wrong, J-Man. Reversing a kill completely, picking up this bulk up, that's a very good awakening to have on Rasmus here. Estelle does get hotshot to deny from Rune and to pick up for herself, however, Primetime Rune is a great pickup. It's going to give Fire Madden a lot of presence over this game, and Era has only Castellax to choose from for herself. That does leave Kazan with Prize Fighter, and depending on how the set starts out, he might be stacking that very frequently. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, Zay Forever does have that one spark of strength, so he isn't hitting with nothing, so to speak, so he's able to find that, and there you go! Right there, top spin immediately finds the KO here. That's going to be an extra stack here to start out the game, which is going to be looking really good for HMG. And there's that size you mentioned, though. We didn't talk about it after he got it too much, but Zay Forever is absolutely poised with an amazing build right now, almost finding another KO as well, were it not for the energy that Fire Madden had for himself. And this Kazan still has had and still has a potential to take over this game.
Yeah, good save from Fire Madden there, making sure the behind the angle barrier there, Sad Boy's angle, is not full clear, and because of that they have the open net to work with here. Very good for Primetime Rune and Rasmus. They want that open net. Taking the barrier is a lot harder than taking that open goal here. However, their net is open now too, and Estelle Kazan are both good at that too. J-Man is completely running away with the ball though, with a secondary, and he just gets the ball once, he flies with it.
This J-Man guy, he's pretty good. He's pretty good at this game, isn't he? He is absolutely tearing HMG apart, is looking so phenomenally good on this Rasmus, and he's doing that with a 2-spark build, right? We saw so many stellar plays coming out, and already a double barrier now happening for Heavy Metal Gundam. Flying Blobos are looking good, not to mention, right, J-Man supported by one of the crazier runes in this league and finds another goal out of nowhere with his hook core speed. I mean, this is just such a phenomenal performance, textbook performance here from J-Man.
176 power and specialized training. The hook was played into, and because of that, the core went way too fast to punish Tragic for walking up. Anything can punish him for that, really. It's so dangerous for Tragic to play the kind of game he wants to this game, because that core speed, the punishing element of Rune especially, is really hard for him to work around here. It's looking like he's completely suffocated, pretty much. Though he is defending away that flip, he's not out of the game just yet.
Yeah, Flying Blobos, though, the triangle is angle perfect there. Finds that final goalie barrier here in the potential final point. Fireman wins that strike where J-Man, though, going to be knocked down very low. Has to go and recover this orb before he gets knocked out of the stage yet again. Save forever now, looking to march forward the core. Josh with a piercing shot through Fireman and tries to set up his midfielder maybe for a KO, but the opportunity might not present itself. The double bandage is there, but the flip comes through for Tragic, but no! Fireman calls him out, reads Tragic's mind, spits in his face, takes game number 1, and that's Flying Blobos here. Again, the team coming into this barely scraping in a playoffs that everyone thought was going to be the ones to take it all. And here they are looking to reclaim some of that early season glory here in game number 1.
Yeah, Fire Madden just choosing the exact perfect time to score that last goal, and really it's symptomatic of every other goal they've been scoring. Every single goal they're scoring is flashy, it's cinematic. It feels like they're not the kind of team that chooses their win con and plays towards it like a machine. It feels like they're fast and loose, and they can turn anything into a goal at any moment, really. It just must be very scary to play into them for Heavy Metal Gundam here. They'll have to make some adaptations into this game too.
Yeah, and what do you do to adapt against what is essentially, well, from what you described, chaos, right? Just chaos and core speed and J-Man 1v3ing your team with a really scary amount of consistency coming into that. I mean, what do you do? Because it really does feel like Fireman and all members the side of Flying Blobos are playing to their potential. And remember, going into that game number 1, you talked about they were playing to pinch Pensando's character pool, and that did not work. So what do you think Heavy Metal Gundam has as their second line of defense here coming into game number 2?
Yeah, I think Pensando is not very pinchable, especially now that they're not on blue side anymore. And he was looking completely comfortable in that era. He did not look out of his element at all. So I think going into the next draft, Heavy Metal Gundam will have to change their goals here. Because what they want is to make sure they can shut down Flying Blobos. They don't need to out-magic them, they just need to make sure that Flying Blobos can't turn anything into a goal, and the way you can do that effectively is with damage. You can do that with damage depending on the enemy team. However, if Fire Madden gets that rune, if J-Man gets the Rasmus, then there is still that fear factor, especially because if you're committing into damage, you're playing a goalie who's not as good at defending. What I think Heavy Metal Gundam might have to do in this draft is ban away one of those miracle characters, and then lock in something like a Vice goalie. I know Tragic has that, a Luna goalie. And then with that, they play around the double wand, they get a kill confirm, and they can turn themselves into a very consistent machine. And by doing that, it kind of takes away the chances that Flying Blobos are finding.
And hey, that's part of the name, right? Heavy Metal Gundam, you got to play like a machine if you want to go far. And we did see in the earlier series, oncoming traffic, even though they did eventually lose to Flying Blobos, did find a lot of success with that damage, right? Of course, Tempo Melon being one of the most killingest midfielders in the North American Strikers Academy. And even though she did eventually fall, she did single-handedly in some cases really show some of the gaps in Flying Blobos armor. And like you mentioned, if Heavy Metal Gundam is able to efficiently kill around that, if they are able to play kind of like that well-oiled machine to make sure that no miracles can happen, we haven't seen Flying Blobos in that situation yet. So we'll see if that adaptation is actually going to be made. Right now, I do see that we're currently in side select. I believe that Pensando has elected into blue side for the Flying Blobos, which, per what you said, right, makes sense. They want to be able to not get pinched out, and even though it didn't even work, that might as well avoid something that the enemy has found.
Yeah, and it does put that pressure on them this time because there is still a universe where Heavy Metal Gundam bans one of Pensando's characters, and then if they don't first side blue pick it, then they can R1 R2 it. That would be uh, pretty funny outcome of the draft. However,
Hmm.
honestly, I think that should not be Heavy Metal Gundam's goal, especially on something so valuable as a ban in this game too.
Yeah.
It absolutely going into this draft. Red side is not weak. It's a very strong draft for Heavy Metal Gundam on the red side because you can R1, R2, two very strong picks, and it could be pretty hard to respond to. You can only pick one character on blue side before the whole wave, the majority of the enemy team is picked.
Mhm. And we are in night market here. This is HMG's map pick. This is what they want to. This is a perfect map for them to fight for their season lives on. And we have got an Aerial's extra special start. And while extra special, I think obviously contributes to the ability for Heavy Metal Gundam to find these KOs. What I'm thinking of is that dash range on potentially what is Pensando's Juno, right? And I'm wondering if Flying Blobos are going to elect to ban one of those miracle characters, like you said, or default back into that Juno respect ban into Pensando, because there seems to be potentially another miracle worker here on Flying Blobos.
I would not be surprised at all to see a Juno Ben coming in, especially because of the dash range start. It would
Yeah.
be playing exactly what I was talking about too, to eliminate the autonomy that Flying Blobos has over the game. Because if you leave open that eject Juno from Pensando, then he can be the third miracle worker on that team. You have three people to keep track of while you're trying to play a slow and condensed game, which is a little difficult to work with. So a Juno Ben would probably be very good here, especially for Heavy Metal Gundam.
Yeah.
So going into this draft, I think the extra special is good for their damage. It can be very strong for them, though I would probably like to see Josh on now as a deny from Pensando, assuming the Juno ban, assuming it's not first pick for Pensando here, because of the extra special. You can both deny their healing, and also you can lock down the game because that's what Now's best at. You can lock down your game and stop them from running you over.
Hmm.
You can play damage with Now too. I think the extra special is something they should lean into. Um, there's a real universe where it's three extra special versus three extra special, assuming a Juno ban.
Yeah,
Though,
which did get banned. Yes.
yes, okay.
Yeah. Um.
I
Yeah.
is there? There it is.
Yeah. So we do have a rune first pick here for Flying Blobos.
Yeah.
Aimi Luna picked by Heavy Metal Gundam on the red side, which, hey, that's damage with extra special. That is exactly what you predicted. And not only that, right? That Aimi can build two different ways with that extra special, right? Not only can she get damage, the Deadeye, the Super Surge, and things like that, but even if needed, she can pivot into things like the Timeless Creator, the Monumentalist, right? To get damage just through the core control pressure, right? You're forced to walk into those turret shots, and that is a potential way to get a lot of consistent damage in corner offenses, which can shut Heavy Metal Gundam down. On the flip side, unfortunately, it does seem like now it's going to be picked up by Pensando, which does throw a wrench into that KO planning with all the healing that now can do.
Yeah, Flying Blob is getting access to their infamous forward duo again by this point, the Rune Rasmus. It's been looking so good
Yeah,
fairly consistently.
yeah,
And the Amy Luna is strong, but they do have to look out for the extra special rune. That pick is very strong. It's one of his best awakenings of all time.
yeah.
Having higher uptime on Banish is so dangerous, especially if you get something like a cast to last. You can do it on someone in the goal net to banish them for so long the ball can just fly in. So the Flying Blobos are looking very strong in the series. However, if there's any brawler that can punish a now goalie without a backline that, it would be Juliet. If Juliet finds this open space ball, she will get some strong scoring attempts going, especially with the backing of that damage from Amy and Luna. The Juliet ultimate, especially the extra special, is a strong piece of kill confirm too. We might see a very strong damage game coming in from Heavy Metal Gun.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely got it. They've got the damage, they've got the kill confirm, they've got the cooldown reduction, and they've got the consistency to play like a well-oiled machine. We'll see, though. I do see ours for games coming out. We'll be getting the game very, very soon, and we'll be able to see here if the Flying Blobos can again perform another miracle for us here, and it will absolutely be it'll be interesting because it'll be a miracle to continue to curse, because we've talked about all the analysis of this draft, all the strategies, all of that, and now we got to talk about the superstition. Patat stands 17-0, and he's going to be the one presiding over this game. This will potentially be the final opportunity here to stop what would be probably the defining statistic of the season in an 18-0 Patat reffing game 2. So not only, right, does Heavy Metal Gundam have to avoid miracles, they're going to have to perform a miracle themselves to get over this one.
Yeah, they have the universe against them, but you know the saying, fate of the universe on the line, I won't say forever. If anyone's able to do it, it would be him.
Absolutely. And we'll see here, right? This is a team that is veterans. They are a team that has played again with their backs against the wall. This is a team that do have deep pockets of tricks to pull out in clutch moments like these. So Heavy Metal Gundam, they're going to be on the back foot, but they're absolutely not out of the count yet. And we have entered what may very well be the final final game of this evening. Heavy Metal Gundam versus the Flying Blobos, with top 3 of the North American Strikers Academy on the line.
That's right, and really one thing to highlight is the damage isn't exactly lacking for Flying Blobos here, especially with Extra Special Rune. If they can find a certain few awakenings, like Deadeye 1-2 Punch for Rune, a single banish can go into a stagger, and Extra Special Rasmus will have the kill confirmed to punish that. So it's not like it's damage versus core control, right? Both teams, going into a remake here, both teams have very strong access to damage, and it's up to them to really take control of the match, because both teams are really going to be wrestling for it here. Every single possession could be a goal, right? Anything can convert into more damage, into barriers taken, into anything happening at any moment, especially with a character like Rune in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the remake, we do have to just repick characters. I think Zentaro was accidentally selected instead of Juliet. We'll be getting back in the game just shortly, which, yeah, we already are. And yeah, we'll see if that damage comes into fruition here. I'm a little bit scared to think about some of this corner offense that'll come through here for Flying Blobos. I feel like that Luna, if she does play for some of those dash punch KOs, that could assist the Julie as well in a lot of these situations. So we'll see coming into this. Flying Blobos do have the Achilles heel, right? They do have to play into this damage comp. It's going to be up to Heavy Metal Gundam to actually execute it, or else we might have another Flying Blobos game on our hands. But we're finally here in game coming to this set. It does seem like the prediction that you had about the Awakenings have come to pass. 6 extra special starts. Ariel's now going to be pushed back into the pool, and 1 Awakening that we do not know about is not going to show for this. So we'll pray that it isn't what you need for your Exodia build, and we'll see what happens here coming into this series.
Yeah, and one thing that's worth pointing out is that even if the damage for Heavy Metal Gundam, their win condition, essentially, does find its place, Flying Blobos have drafted characters that are still good in those reverse power play scenarios. Rune is infamous for some miracle goals on just him. He just needs to guess right versus the goal he wants, right? And Rasmus is one of the best 1v1 brawlers in the game, so as long as they have their resources up, then they can make anything happen even when they're down a person.
Yeah, there was this really interesting play that I saw, that flip from Fire Madden came through. Ooh, a KO actually going to be found here. The goal soon after, kind of out of nowhere, it feels like. Just 1 KO immediate goal. But what I wanted to talk about was, I think Josh had a really interesting heads-up play, because it really felt like he predicted that Fire Madden was going to flip pass up to J-Man instead of trying to go for like a field goal shot. And because they were able to defend that barrier, obviously did not help them very much in the end. But it really does feel like Josh is thinking a little bit and thinking about how the forward duo, Fireman and J-Man, do like passing. They do like playing the triangle as strong as possible, and if you are aware of that, that could potentially be exploited here.
Yeah, it's a good sign for them for the rest of the game here, having Gundam trying to adapt to what Flying Blobos do best here. And if they can do it successfully, they might be able to take over the series. J-Man looking very low here, but now does have her ultimate, and J-Man will get the orb. He's being pestered for it, but there's no immediate concern on his life here. Pensando ejecting forward with his ult, not quite finding the barriers, trying to bounce it away.
J-Man now going to be staggering, no evade, but is able to position himself to survive the Crater Maker. We now need to see some of that kill confirm come through, and there it is. Tragic with the glitch plop, able to find 1 KO, the first, I'm sure, of many with this extra special start we have. But right now, Fire Madden playing that miracle interference that you were just talking about. 1 barrier going to be almost taken, the flip from Tragic going to be down, but as of right now, the power play ends, and they're only up 1 barrier for it. Still an uphill battle here for the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. Josh trying to snipe away that final barrier, but it's not going to be found here. The Rune Pillar comes through, but isn't able to catch Josh off guard this time. Now a flip for Zay Forever, trades that KO for his flip, a big one as well, as now it's going to give them an energy advantage here in this play. But no, Pensando's mine actually takes away the final bullet. The reverse power play. J-Man's on a breakaway, and a miracle has happened. The first, I'm sure, of many for Flying Blobos here, as J-Man again finds a goal out of nowhere.
Yeah, Pensando clearing out the ball, taking the barrier for it, and then again hitting it around Josh's Luna Dash. As soon as that ability was spent, the round was as good as done, as J-Man got the ball in open space, and that's exactly what you want to deny from Flying Blobos, that open space, the opportunities. But it feels impossible as they keep getting access to it over and over again, even if you're taking out members of their team. However, Josh has a good offense going on. It's batted away immediately though. Pensando looking so good at the defense. However, Zay Forever is able to find the second barrier. This could be a good first point for them on the board.
Josh with that flip looking so menacing. On top of that, the Luna, right, able to cover the cross clear, which means you're forced to punch into the Julie a bit. The banish comes through.
Ooh.
No, the flip from Josh going to be found and caught away. J-Man now with a flip of zone is able to intercept, and Flying Blobos now on the forward foot. They're going to be looking to take this final goalie barrier here, but it's not yet come to pass. The pillar makes the core bounce in mysterious ways, but it is going to eventually be cleared out by Tragic Pendulum Swing, not able to find it. All three members of Heavy Metal Gundam are now going to be here. Oh, and Josh, the boost! The trick shot comes through. That is a point on the board here for Heavy Metal Gundam.
Yeah, there's the Luna Dash, an ever-looming threat here. At any moment, as long as it's off cooldown, Josh can threaten a goal on the net here. J-Man looking with no evade, as Heavy Metal Gundam does see that. He does get healed, but he's not fully recovered from Stagger just yet, as they can keep the regen timer up, but they cannot, as they spend every single ability on it on the kickoff. J-Man is looking alive, and he will get his evade back quite soon. J-Man will not fall just today.
Now it's going to be Flying Blobbo's opportunity here to take it through, but the triangle here from Heavy Metal Gundam. Out. One goalie barrier down, a second almost certain to follow here. The flip from Zay Forever means that this might be a goal as well. Josh looking to go forward with a boost. Oh, the core barely saved out by J-Man, but the turrets here, things are looking grim. Zay Forever, though, doesn't win the strike war. And now Fire Madden has a flip here in this power play to potentially steal something away. Josh, though, not able to get the core past Fire Madden. The Crater Maker is going to be there. Zay Forever now going to be staggered there. And a reverse power play for the Flying Blobos. The prophecy again comes true. Zay Forever looking to march the core forward, but he's looking worse for wear. The pull's not going to find the KO here as we enter overtime. The Flame Flurry barely pixels away from taking out Pensando, but Josh with a boost able to find the core yet again. And a miracle taken is a miracle denied. Heavy Metal Gundam even up the set.
Yeah, great vision from Josh, seeing the ball in that open space and drifting all the way around, perfectly covering Pensando here. It's looking like this Luna Dash is that X factor that they need to win this game, tying it up. Both goals scored from Josh in that open space, dashing into Pensando with that hit stun there. It's exactly what they need, and it's working out very well for them so far.
A corner offense now coming through. Fireman and really needs to respect this damage. No evade to his name as well, and with this extra special, it's only a few seconds before Zay Forever is bound to have something to take him out with. Zay Forever, yeah, looking like a vulture there over the soon-to-be corpse of Fireman, and no actually elects to take the goalie barrier. Well traded. The flip's going to be there. Pensando not with the reactions. Heavy Metal Gundam going to be the one, actually a reversal of fortunes. They're going to be the team stealing away the set. And that is going to be Josh, a well-deserved MVP off the back of his 2 goals earlier.
Yeah, Zay finding that crucial breakaway going into this next draft here. There is a missile propulsion pick for Luna here. Ariel's already showing up. It was that starting awakening. And one thing to point out here is that Amy's choice between Timeless Creator and Stinger, both good awakenings, incredible awakenings, especially extra special, for dealing damage. And Amy is opting for my personal pick here, the Stinger, because what you need is that damage. You don't need as much kill confirm. You just need to be able to consistently pressure those health bars, make sure they can never stay high, because if the health bars are low, you can always be bothering them. You can hit them around, you can confirm the kill if Zay has that ultimate ability, and you can pretty much take control of the match. It's exactly what they need. It's good for their tempo.
And we'll see, it is going to be up to Fireman to stay alive as well. He himself unlocked the Timeless Creator that was left open, so it's going to be up to the side of Heavy Metal Gundam to deny the value off of that, because Rune needs to be taken off the map. But already we see that pillar here. 1 barrier to 2 barriers goes down. Fireman with the dribble. Josh sends it forward to Zay, who chooses to dribble it itself. But now Flying Blobbo's an opportunity to score here. The Crater Maker, though, buys some space here as J-Man now forced to retreat. The Stinger doing its due work. Fireman, good teleport away from the Flame Flurry by Zay forever. The core seems to be stuck in limbo here in the center, but 1 KO is now looking to break the stalemate. The flip here from Zay forever. The KO going to be found on top of that as well. Heavy Metal Gundam's going to be the one coming out swinging here in set number 2.
The damage is really popping off already. The Stinger pickup, the missile propulsion pickup, it's already working so well for Heavy Metal Gundam, as Rune does have his options, as he has that evade in his secondary and his banish, if he's getting Juliet ulted, for instance. But it's not enough, as they have so much pressure going on, and the Heavy Metal Gundam is finding great damage pressure consistently. Over and over again, they find 2 kills at that one point, and it's honestly like they're setting up for another, as J-Man has no evade, no health either to work with. Zay is going to have his ultimate come back in due time, and as soon as he does, he can play for that kill on J-Man.
Right now, the Rune Pillar does not catch Tragic sleeping, though. The Flame Flare is going to come through. That's 1 KO. Consistent damage is a little bit too much for J-Man to handle right now. He's going to find him taken off of the court. Now a power play here, but we have seen the work of Fireman, and before the banish comes out, Pensando holds true. The Pillar yet again denies Zay forever his just rewards here. Pensando now looking to heal his 2 forwards as they have one more opportunity maybe here before Fireman is going to be sent off the map. Excellent mine here to keep that final goalie barrier up, but the flip comes through from Tragic as we enter overtime. Zay forever looking to dash punch with the core. Flip comes through. It's going to be taken out, that final goalie barrier, but oh, mad dash for it. Barely saves that barrier. Now this Luna potential opportunity to take away the point at any moment's notice might be Zay forever's time to shine, though, as now KO going to be found. J-Man here on defense. The strike war going to be won. Zay forever with a dash. Pensando not able to recover in time. A second point here for Heavy Metal Gundam, and they are looking dominant. They look like they've turned it on. That damage is that damage machine that you talked about before. It really feels like it's starting to chug along.
Yeah, and it's getting Flying Blavos to look a little more flustered on the defense, too. Every time they have to defend, they usually look so comfortable and consistent, but now every time they're getting a lot more scary interactions to deal with, especially with Juliet. J-Man not quite finding that hook off the ledge there, the Scyther 12 as some would call it. Though he does have extra special, so it's not like a long cooldown has been expended. Tragic does lose that barrier as he opts for damage and is punished as Josh does not win an interaction. Turns into a risky one. Though he has a flip to work with, it's not enough, so he dashes away, and Tragic is not able to save that low shot from Fire Madden. Flying Blabos really can make anything happen. They're not out of the set just yet.
Oh, absolutely not. The triangle showed up for there for just a second, and the triangle has 3 points, and 3 points is exactly what you want to find. That's top-level analysis right there.
True.
Right now, it's going to be up to J-Man, though, to continue it. 1 goalie barrier down. Is able to receive the core from his midfielder again. Now Josh has to burn a defensive flip, but he's going to be looking low, joining his buddy J-Man here on the needs to get orbs soon goal. Now the Flame Flurry comes through. J-Man lives somehow, but eventually all miracles have to come to an end. Zay forever with the flip to take that one out. Now Pensando has to heal himself up. Gonna get hit by this whammy. Might have to give up this barrier just to keep himself alive, but good heads-up play from Fireman, and the banish is there. The 1v1 as well. Tragic not able to defend. It's gonna be an open net, but Fireman going to be taken out this time. Pays for the miracle with his life. J-Man in a 1v1, 1v2 situation almost takes it out, but does not get the opportunity. Now the Crater Maker a little bit awkward, gives J-Man another opportunity, and that's not something you want to do here against the Flying Blabos. Pensando now gonna play support here to Fireman as we enter overtime. Firewall Sentry, though, a little bit more time given to Tragic and crew. The dash punch there, finally an open net for both teams. The banish barely clips Josh there on the wings, but J-Man is coming in close, and he finds the shot right through Tragic and Josh. He's going to find an amazing strike war here to even up the set.
No health, no energy, but all he needs is cooldowns. That's all he needs, and a little bit of possession, and he can turn that into a goal, as we keep seeing time and time again. However, Heavy Metal Gundam is not discouraged as they put that damage right back on him as they were last point. However, one thing to note is that though they are playing a damage game, they're not getting much denial on orbs. Flying Blabos very consistently gets access to orbs. They get a lot of healing. As long as they aren't taken out immediately, they actually have a pretty comfortable time healing back up. That might be something Heavy Metal Gundam needs to focus on in this game, especially considering how much Flying Blabos is getting pretty much saved their life by it.
Yeah, and maybe the solution to that is just getting the KO before it even has the opportunity. We just saw basically Fireman and just dissolving to mist in that play. But J-Man, oof, look at that. Potential 1v3 play comes through. Doesn't find the goalie barrier, but finds time for his midfielder to come back up. Pensando now doesn't take that orb, which means that he won't have a flip for this play, which is super duper unfortunate. But they are not able to find the return barrier here as we enter overtime. J-Man now looking to find possession of the core, but Save Forever, the perfect strike, gets it through Pensando, and that is a second set for Heavy Metal Gundam. They're looking to break the curse. They're looking to end the 17-game streak. They're looking to bring us here to a crucial Game 3 as we enter now our draft.
Crucial strike war, there it is. And Zay has a lot of important awakenings to choose from, but there's one in particular, and that is the Adrenaline Rush. He has extra special. He is the kill confirmer for his team. Let's not get that twisted. When someone needs to die, he is the one that they send to go finish the job. And Adrenaline Rush is perfect for that. It's the awakening you need. And one thing to especially look forward to here is that specialized training on Luna. She has the Happy Star. We'll be seeing so many nukes, and every single one will deal a lot of damage. They have even more of a win condition going on here. They'll just nuke someone, then Zay will ult them. He'll get Adrenaline Rush. It's a very simple and consistent win con, yeah.
Yeah, I just looked, I tapped to see this Luna build the extra special.
It's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? On top of that, Zay Forever as well, picking up the Super Surge, right? This is a cat that is looking to kill you, and you don't have that, you're going to get shot by this Luna nuke. So the machine is chugging along very well. It's well oiled, fueled up on gas, and it is doing its job right now. Heavy Metal Gundam are in prime position to take this game. It's going to be up to Flying Blavas to weather the storm, but boy, is that going to be a storm.
Yeah. Zay is very consistently looking for those dash punches, but notably he doesn't actually have many knockback increases, just the 5% from Built Different on his punch. He won't actually be finding many raw knockback kills. His role is, in this damage game, is just to finish the job. And as he doesn't have this dash punch, he is, looking to stall out this power play here, not quite finding the kill, as it was baiting Fire Mad and Tragic, looking for a Soren angle to stall, but he is not in position to do it, and it will own goal him. It's not the worst thing, as it was looking bad for him already, however, the point will be scored regardless.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a mental hit as well, right? Just a mechanical slip-up that you know everyone just watched, so we'll see if Tragic can stay cool under that sort of pressure, which again, pressure, a big part of it, right? These are okay, at this point, all 6 of these players are very much veterans of the game, right? J-Man and Fire Madden have a full season under their belt, and they're the greenest ones here. Tragic, Josh, and Zay Forever has been around since what it feels like forever, but what doesn't feel like it's been around forever are these goalie barriers. They're going to be taken out. Pensando here with a flip, looking a little bit scary, but Josh with that with a boost, looking to maybe steal some things away under the noses of Flying Blabos, but nothing happening just quite yet. J-Man here with a flip has the 1v1. Tragic denies that though from happening with a flip of his own, but now not going to have that tool for a potential another play coming through for the Flying Blabos. There it is. Oh my god, J-Man's going to bounce around. Looking like Clarion test chamber, but unfortunately we still are on night market, which means this Juliet is king. 1 KO going to be found as we enter into overtime. The goalie barrier is going to go down. A second one not found just quite yet, but feels inevitable as to follow. The pass up from Josh is there, going to be intercepted. Fire at it though with a breakaway, but this time Tragic there to call it out with the glitch pop. The 1v1 still there. J-Man maybe an opportunity. No, not going to find it. Josh with a boost. No, we won't see the banditry that we've seen so far earlier this game, but Josh another opportunity. The strike's there. Zay Forever finds it though. The strike top side is going to close it out, and we are now dead even on set number 3. Heavy Metal Gundam are now the ones looking to close it out on the Flying Blabos.
Yeah, and I think crucially the point winner there was the flip first from Tragic as J-Man was inching into his net with his own. But going into this next point, really, Pensando has no evade, and they're really looking to punish him for it. They find it as Zay gets that kill with his ultimate and the Adrenaline Rush proc. J-Man is the next target, and he too will fall. It's a 1v3 for Fire Madden, who does have a flip in his resources to spend, but it might not be enough. The Luna missile does deny the barrier, though, as the respawns are coming in. Fire Madden is low now. The ult might have to be burned. Fire Madden is the next damage target as they eventually get their cooldowns back, but the barrier remains very crucially.
Yeah, they are currently an iron wall, but it looks like they're against the Firestorm. that is Heavy Metal Gundam right now. The flip comes through, a KO going to be found, 2 more flips as well. Stay forever with the adrenaline rush. The second one is going to be
Oh god!
inevitable. And now he's going to find it. An unfortunate rocket feels like it only delays
Okay.
the inevitable, though. Josh, a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of a hiccup. But what's one misstep on the path up the mountain? Heavy Metal Gundam are looking to break the curse of Patat. They might be the one to make it out of Patat's haunted mansion, and they are well on their way here.
Yeah, when you're layering damage so effectively like that in power plays, it's not too punishing to miss a few plays there and here and there. Josh does have no health, but he's not at risk of dying, as he has that orb, and J-Man does not have the cooldowns to kill him. And J-Man is looking like the next target. Missiles are being sent to him. Pensando has no evade and has been hit by an Amy dash with Stinger. However, all it takes is one random missile prop specialized training Luna nuke to send someone completely off the map. And Pensando is now staggered, who will be getting his special back soon. However, he needs to be able to use it, and he will not find the chance as the Amy turret sends him off, with Luna to work with here too. On this next power play, Zay is not getting these adrenaline rush procs, but he doesn't need them, as they just have this power play to work with. Fire Madden is already sent out. He just can't even defend anymore. He had to leave, because if he didn't, he would die, and if he did, the goal would be scored. Heavy Metal Gundam taking it to a clean Game 3, finding what looks like to be a resounding answer to Flying Blavos.
Yeah, and this is looking scary. The curse is broken, and now we've got nothing but a vengeful Heavy Metal Gundam, completely uninhibited here by the curse. 17-1. And Patat has to now officiate his first ever third game in the NAS. Coming into that, now we were talking about how HMG were going to respond, and we talked about getting a clean, consistent machine of KOs, and boy, did they find it. It really feel like every opportunity that the Flying Blobos had was immediately shut out. It felt like they were just walking up and going to 0 HP immediately. We saw J-Man, Fireman, and Pensando, all of them just flying across the court and into their inevitable demise. And because of that, it really didn't matter what the triangle was looking like. It didn't matter if Flying Blobos were able to make a miracle play. It just felt like there was nothing but guns, sadness, and destruction coming out from Heavy Metal Gundam. And hey, I mean, that's Gundam. And now the question is on Flying Blobos. What does Flying Blobos do? Because this is the second time so far tonight that we've seen KO be used incredibly effective against them. And this is the strongest iteration of it yet. A clean 3-0 coming out, which, off of what a lot of people were expecting to be an unstoppable team so far tonight.
That's right, and Flying Blobos, one thing that's worth noting is the way they play is very open space and loose, and that's why I haven't really took them to this night market pick. That's why they flourished so hard on it, and Flying Blobos, their wings were pretty much clipped, right? But into this next map, what is it? What's another map 3?
Oh, I didn't even prepare. I wasn't prepared for map 3 yet.
Yeah, I had no, I honestly.
Let me double check. It is going to be Gates of Obscura for the final
That
map.
is, if any map, I would say Gates Obscura is exactly what Flying Blobos wants. They get
Yeah.
even more chances to pass, even more ways to play this core at any moment. And that unpredictability is exactly what they want, right? Night Market's very grounded of a map, but if they can take themselves to this gates and find these open plays, even the same exact team comps, the same draft, it would look so much better for them just on virtue of the map itself being different. So the way they play already doesn't have to be completely shifted. They just need a little better survivability, because one thing I was noticing is a lot of the time when they were dying, they had many evades remaining, right? They were dying with evade a lot. They were being sent off the map by a Luna nuke when they had their evades, stuff like that. I think if they can work on that and keep themselves a little better at living, then they can find those crucial single plays of flashy moments that they're so good at performing, right?
Yeah. We'll absolutely see. We'll see. And yeah, Gates. It does feel like you mentioned. Just going back to the beginning of your analysis, it feels like it is Flying Blobos like handcrafted map. I feel like they play that incredibly well. We saw that earlier, right, against Oncoming Traffic, where they pulled that win off. And now we'll see how they fare here against Heavy Metal Gundam. And just putting the analysis on you again. How do you think Heavy Metal Gundam's going to fare in this potential map as well? Right, a lot of corner offense, a lot of portal plays, a lot of ways to find a lot of creative angles, obviously, which favors Flying Blobos. But at the end of the day, if it's dumped into your non-portal corner, what are you gonna do? You gotta go and face the choir of whatever Heavy Metal Gundam wants to do to you.
Well, if I'm Heavy Metal Gundam, I'm putting myself on complete possession, right? I'm playing not to defend the barrier, not to guarantee the goals, but just to make sure I have the ball at all times. And a lot of the time, those characters, the characters that are good at doing that, do end up getting high damage, like Estelle, like Rasmus, like even Zentaro, right? But the way this draft is going to play out, I think what HMG should look for is primarily what does J-Man have if not the Rasmus? What does Fireman have if not the Rune? We haven't been seeing their secondaries because every time the draft presence has been focused on pinching Pensando, making sure he doesn't get that Juno, for instance. But really, what I think could happen is that if they cut one of those crucial forward duo characters from Flying Blobos, then they might actually cut a lot of their style, right? They can hinder what they want, and the way this can go, I think Flying Blobos might have to rely on a secondary. Like J-Man off the Rasmus would have to play a character like Kazan or Zentaro to play in the same kind of style that he's always been playing and that has been so successful for him. And honestly, there's no character quite like Rune.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. And I do have some news here. We do have our awakenings. It's going to be Might of Colossus and Siege Machine. So that's a bit rough. You got to pick your poison between the Rasmus and the Rune. It feels because it feels like either one's going to start the game a little bit turbocharged.
That's right, and they are going to be on blue side though, right? So it's possible they can
Yeah.
ban one and first pick the other.
Yep.
One thing I'd note is a little strong of a pick here is the Might of the Colossus with Pauldron's Rasmus. That's a lot of power you're getting on that character, especially with the increased ratio. And really, what I think you might want to play into this game is just that size awakening. The Might of the Colossus. You want to play. I think I would pick Kazan in the brawler role on either team. Really, it's a very high value pick because of the Might of the Colossus, because of the open nature of Gates Obscura. That hook can cover so much, and the closed strike can win so many interactions you otherwise wouldn't be able to. So a Kazan pick would be pretty strong, especially with Might. And if they don't opt for that, if the team with Rasmus doesn't opt for that with that Might, then they can probably draft for damage instead, with Rasmus being saved for kill confirm. However, Heavy Metal Gundam going for a pretty oddball era pick. I think they might want to be playing around that Might so effectively that they play Era X. They get the beam to buff up that X with a lot of Might of the Colossus value. And they'll look for some cheesy extra power kills maybe that way, or some goals with the core speed.
Yeah, but once again, right? Oh, interesting. You know what's interesting here? The Rune Rasmus was left up, and Flying Blobos did not elect into it, instead electing into now Rune, which I wonder if that now pickup is going to go over to Pensando. And with this Centauro picked up, I'm very curious of what Fire Madden is going to want to take here for the midfield.
Yeah, the now Zentaro can be a very scary pick. Pensando getting his pick pretty much instantly, making sure that doesn't get sniped away, especially with that Juno ban that's been so consistent throughout this series. Though, primarily, notably, they're not denying away the comp that Heavy Metal Gundam is very clearly kind of hinting towards with that first pick era. The Estelle and in my opinion, the X would come in here. The Estelle is going to be the midfielder. That's era goalie, by the way. A
Yeah.
very consistent pick. Era midfield is not as common. Though I will say, the beam value for X with that Might of the Colossus is lessened because Era can't be in range of X so frequently as he walks forward towards the start of the round pretty consistently. So the way this game might play out, it could be very messy and scrappy. Going for the Kazan instead, just Era goalie on its own merits being picked. However, if there's anything I'd pick Era goalie into, it wouldn't be Zentaro, so I don't think it should have been the first pick of the game, right? The Flying
Yeah.
Blobbers was, yeah, draft that Kai for Fire Madden. Honestly, this is
Oh.
an interesting draft. This could really a lot could happen in this game.
Yeah, it
I
really
think
feels like. Oh, you
you
finish
can go
finish
on. You can
thought.
go on.
It really does feel like both teams just like took all the rules that they adhered to for games 1 and 2 and just kind of like tossed it. Really, it
Yeah,
really
yeah.
feels like they're just like, we're done. We want to play a comfort picks. We want to play something awesome, and now we're gonna do it. I think Zay and Josh obviously incredibly comfortable on like the characters that they picked, and they're good characters. I think here to pick as well. So I think absolutely agree with you. I think the big question mark here is that air performance. You first picked it, you prioritized it, you thought it was going to be good into anything, and now it's going to be up to you to provide that value and show us what vision you have behind it. So definitely the pick to watch here as we have loaded into the wrong map. A
Okay.
bit unfortunate, but we will start. Yeah, I was like, whoa, I feel like we've been here before. But we will get started in just a second. On the flip side, really interesting actually, Kai being picked up. I haven't seen a lot of Kai at all, and we've seen 2 Kais picked tonight. What's up with that?
Yeah, Kai is a very if you're not playing into damage, Kai can definitely work, especially into a goalie pick like Era. That Strike Barrage, the Strike Giga Blast, having those tools can punish a goalie that isn't as defensively proficient like Era, just for when you get the ball. And that's exactly what Flying Blobs wants, right? They want those chances. So I think the barriers will be a little hard to defend for Heavy Metal Gundam here. But one thing that's worth pointing out as well is the efficacy of Estelle Kazan. That team comp, that forward duo is very good, especially with pretty much starting with the size awakening for Kazan and the power for the core speed. It's a very strong and scary midfield scenario for Flying Blobos to deal with.
Yeah, and not to mention, right? Not only is just like it's a lot of mix-ups, it's a lot of hit stun, it's a lot of it. It's just a lot of damage potentially, right? That could come out against this Kai, which you mentioned, right? Good on core control metas, but I mean, yeah, you have an Era which might alleviate some of the damage against you, or you're playing against an Era which might alleviate the damage against you. But I feel like this Kazan and Stella are going to be more than capable, especially with a Mighty Colossus start to find that damage here under the Kai and shut Fireman out of his game.
Yeah, especially even with a hypothetical Era beam synergizing with that Might of the
Right,
Colossus,
right.
honestly. There are very significant chances throughout this game for pretty much anyone to blow up at any moment with that Might pickup. Though I think the game will, on its own, be a little bit grounded. Josh opting for Siege Machine over that Size Awakening for Estelle. And going into this game here, I think we're going to see a lot of possession for most of the game for Heavy Metal Gundam. Just the way their characters are picked, the way the comps work out. But I think the offense will look a little more potent and final for Flying Blobos.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes to be, because we just saw one corner offense end, and now another one begin, it feels like. Josh, though, able to prevent that from happening now. It's tragic, looking to push up to Zay forever. The piercing shot's going to not make its mark, but J-Man already going to be taken very, very low. Already we are seeing some of the shades of previous game come through, and piercing shot doesn't find the KO, but Zay forever almost certainly going to find this in the meantime. J-Man is able to get that flip off, doesn't get the barrier though, and it feels like it's only a matter of time before J-Man's going to be set off, but no, he actually lives. Finally gets that barrier on his way out as well as Fireman looking to play interference, and he finds it! A bit of a misplay, it feels like a missed pass coming out from the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. Fireman immediately capitalizes on it and steals the point.
Yeah, a very, very risky play, punished by Fireman. And again, we're seeing Flying Blobos at their peak, at their best, at their most comfortable. Scoring goals in those 2v3 scenarios, no matter what happens, they can still find a way out.
Taking a look at it as well, right? With the Mag Souls, wants to play that interference in the midfield line pretty constantly, and I feel like that's what we're going to be seeing a lot of coming into this game. Josh still has his flip, which he's held for a little bit now. Now shares a flip with his Brawler as well. Looking to finally maybe get this barrier. Going to trade flip for flip, but nothing going to be found for it. Now J-Man again limping away from the play. Looks to be taken out, but this is a scary situation. Flip comes out from Josh defensively, but they're not out of the woods yet. Zay forever, though, good premonition to intercept that pass coming out from Fireman. And Dado almost takes out J-Man on the teleport portal, but there's still a bit of a breakaway potential here coming out from the Flying Blobos if they're able to get out of this corner offense, which they are able to do, but no, before J-Man can do anything, he's going to be sent off right into the map, and we have got an overtime situation power play for HMG.
Yeah, there's that infamous confirm for Kazan showing its face there the moment anyone gets staggered, and Zay has those cooldowns. He can spend them almost uncounterplayably to confirm that kill, so those health bars are honestly ticking time bombs as long as Zay is playing accordingly. However, J-Man finding a great core stop into Flick, seeing that Josh spent his strike there, opting to go for the bottom side of the net there. Very, very clean goal for them, and Flying Blobos again, turning any moment into a barrier, any moment into a goal.
Yeah, and it feels like your prediction has come to pass here on the offense, right? More possession for HMG, but more potent offense for the side of the Flying Blobos, so kudos for that. And yeah, I mean, it just feels like they are able to ride that into a lot of crazy plays, and hey, I mean, you only need to do that 9 times and you're in top 3.
Yeah, one more for the set, and honestly, as long as they get the set, the game can scale out of control for them. So this offense, again, they got the ball, double barriers taken. Fire Madden has not much health to work with, however, Zay is spending his kill confirming tools on it. J-Man gets the ball with his flip, set up there, collecting that orb to make sure he has it, walking forward, striking with his backside to get that strike primary, bait out Tragic Strike. He's looking too comfortable right now. Pensando's looking too comfortable. Fire Madden as well. They're all playing so calmly and effectively right now. Going into this draft, Primetime on Kai is a great pickup. It's a great deny from Era 2. Defense will be even harder without that Awakening to deal with. And Zentaro gets that Size Awakening deny from Kazan. However, 1-2 Punch and another Size Awakening are still here, so it's more like a trade. Pensando gets a 1-2 punch die from Estelle, and also that core speed is going to help him clear, as now is one of those goalies who does strike the ball more and proc that 1-2 punch more effectively. This is a great draft for Flying Blobos. 2 Size Awakenings on J-Man, scaling with that Might of the Colossus, a prime time for Fire Madden. This draft is really looking good for Flying Blobos. However, Size Awakening was given to Zon, and you can't ignore how powerful that is.
Yeah, Stay Forever looking really big right now, and Pensando, no size of his own, right? These strike wars are going to be nigh impossible, I think, if Stay Forever is going to be set up for them. So maybe adding some much-needed potency to the offense here of the of the HMG. So right now, Fireman is going to find a little bit of a breakaway to get this corner offense going. Finds a good shot to take one goalie barrier, but it is eventually going to get cleared out. J-Man now has to limp away from all of his problems. Stay Forever going to assist him long.
Whoa, whoa.
Wow! What a Giga Blast coming through. That was insane. Now, a little bit of back and forth though here. Goalie barrier going to come through. Stay Forever now. Going to be back up. He's going to be coming into this play. It's going to be Fireman under damage pressure. Flip pressure as well comes through. Oh no, the flip is not going to go through. It's going to be caught by the last pebble of the barrage. Stay Forever angry, finds the KO as well. On top of that, now Pensando going to be looking to play defense, but it's size versus no size. It's going to be scary, but Pensando actually manages to find it. Now J-Man, though, able to get the flip. Ooh, another flip as well. Both goalies now down their flips. Tragic doesn't fall for the same trick that lost them the last set. Good heads-up play here. J-Man passed down to Fireman. Into the portal play was almost crazy, but it's not going to be enough. The barrage just barely misses its mark here to find that goal as well. And Josh potentially here with a piercing shot, not able to find the goal. The Oni Blade's going to be there. The barrage again barely misses its mark here. Pensando now forced to defend, but it's going to be J-Man to intercept that clear. Now we're going back and forth. The portal plays here, advantaging of Flying Blobos, and they are going to find it. J-Man, phenomenal plays again. Hey, if the first trick doesn't work, I've got another one for you, Tragic. He's going to be the one taking the point.
We've seen so many time and time again. J-Man gets in that scenario, even the right side of the map, the bottom half of the map. He gets the ball, and he has his primary. He does strike primary, and from there, anything can happen. He can flick it down, he can flick it up, he can core stop, and every single time, he looks like he's guessing correctly. He's making the right decisions to score here. It feels like Tragic is not able to keep up with J-Man's scoring attempts here, and every single time he's finding the goal, he's finding his chances. And if there's anything he's getting, it's chances with Fire Madden funneling the ball to him so many times.
Yeah. Ooh, the Giga Blast there looking scary, but just inches away from taking that goal. Tragic now fully on offense here. Has to walk back, though. The core's going to get through. Oh, no! Tragedy comes through for the side of Heavy Metal Gundam. Unfortunately, just losing that point right in front of their eyes. It's going to be Flying Blobos now looking to run away with this game.
Pensando doing what now players never do and putting the secondary on his teammate, getting the goal for it. Very rarely you find yourself justifying a play like that, but Pensando is going to go sleep tonight knowing he made the right decision in that moment, putting themselves 1 point away from winning their second set. It's looking like they're taking the game away and running with it.
Yeah, and a huge question coming into this, right? What is Fire Madden without the Rune? What is J-Man without the Rasmus? And we are getting a deafening answer. The performance of these two have been phenomenal. J-Man going to be sent out, though, as I say that, but let that not be understated. Fire Madden looking to play interference. Yeah, again, the Mag Souls King himself showing that he is a force to be reckoned with. You cannot leave Fire Madden alone with your goalie one-on-one. He will find a way to get through, and now the corner offense for Flying Blobos have started up yet again. The cooldowns are flying out, the damage is coming through, but the core is inevitable. It finds that final goalie barrier. The Flying Blobos looking to take the set now, an open net for Heavy Metal Gundam. Zay Forever is so desperately trying to find anything back, but nothing's happening right now as we get in overtime. J-Man now, the Blick threat comes through, but not going to be found. Pensando going to play a little bit too close to the sun, but Fireman is able there to intercept the out clear. Passing comes through. Some shenanigans are sure to happen here in just a second. J-Man with the flick. The shot's going to come through, but the portal call out on where Zay Forever was going to shoot. The flip is going to be there. It's right in front of the net, and it's through 3 members of Heavy Metal Gundam. J-Man finds the miracle shot again and again and again. And the Flying Blobos here, a dominant 2-set performance in game number 3.
Picture perfect finish, and really J-Man is looking like the best player in the league. Not at any means neglecting his 2 teammates here. All of Flying Blobos are playing so well right now, and very notably this draft is going to be a fight or flight pickup for Kai. That extra movement speed, he's been working so well with it off that now secondary, off of his own secondaries, and having that consistently, especially with the team player value from his goalie, could be incredibly powerful for Flying Blobos here, especially with a Stagger Awakening, a peak performance pickup for J-Man here. There are some CDR Awakenings and bulk up picks for Zay Forever and his teammates. However, I don't think Heavy Metal Gundam has picked up any Awakenings that will win them this game. And I think Flying Blobos have picked up Awakenings that will let them keep winning their game here. So really the way this is looking is that Flying Blobos, as they're demonstrating here so effectively, is that they're going to close out this game very cleanly.
Yeah, and J-Man and Fireman look like they are having the time of their life. We are seeing Blick passes into barrages. Tragic is so desperately trying to hold, but it looks so dangerous. Fireman feels like he's just moments away from a breakaway at any given moment. Pensando here now going to be the one on defense, though, but he has been holding the line so effectively against Josh and Zay Forever. Pensando finds another clear. J-Man with another opportunity, and when J-Man has another opportunity, he's going to find it, but that opportunity is going to be denied away. The KO does come through. Hints from game number 2 now coming out. The ace may come through, but now, yeah, Josh going to end that before it happens. He is able to get the point. Even though Heavy Metal Gundam so far have been just trying to stay alive, they are eventually going to find the fight back here.
Very strong damage coming in, yeah. Using 2 flips for damage even was Heavy Metal Gundam. And we saw it come in there with the bulk up. That was a strong helper for that damage too. And Heavy Impact Era is no slouch as long as she's getting those beams hitting on the enemy, as we just see J-Man get taken out by that heavy impact value right there. It wouldn't have been enough on the threshold to stagger if he didn't have that awakening. And Flying Blobos do have 2 core flips to work with here, however they waste 1 as they're afraid of Zay going for a hook perhaps. The J-Man is respawned, he has a lot of room to work with. As Fireman gets a breakaway here, this could be the second barrier.
Ooh, Tragic though, good strike. The defense from Heavy Metal Gundam come through, but they're still not out of the woods yet. Fireman with this flip. J-Man, though, going to be on the back foot here. Has to just stay alive against this onslaught that is inevitably going to be Heavy Metal Gundam's attempt to take him out yet again. Fireman not finding the out clears that he would like. Pensando now trying to take matters into his own hands, sending the core directly into his brawler. J-Man now moves forward, gets crucial healing from the now, but the barrier still stays alive. No, it's finally going to go down. Tragic loses the strike war against J-Man here as we enter overtime. Pensando now sending the core here into the bottom side of the map. J-Man so desperately trying to get this flip, but he's not going to get the opportunity. The KO is going to be there. A 6 KO streak for Zay Forever. And now Heavy Metal Gundam looking to take this point, looking to keep their NASA hopes alive, their season hopes alive. 1 barrier going to go down. Josh unfortunately whiffs the flip. This could prove fatal for Heavy Metal Gundam. The piercing shot keeps the core alive. Tragic now reacting to core speed here on the arrow, which is so dangerous. The flick is going to be there. Where is he going to shoot it? The back pass comes through, but it's not going to be enough. Tragic stays calm, collected, but no, J-Man fights the 2v1 shot. He wins the strike war against the back line of Heavy Metal Gundam. And even though Heavy Metal Gundam tried so hard, the Flying Blobos now are going to be the one looking to end the series.
Yeah, looking completely ready to punish Josh for trying to rush that clear there. And this backline, they're looking so unbothered. Pensando just completely comfortable all game. On the Era pick, he looks great, and on this Now pick, he looks great too. Even though they have these great offensive setups going on, Pensando still completely healthy. And wait, they're punishing Tragic for that walk-up. They get the whole
my
goal away with two Fire Madden. Oh my god.
What? I mean, Flying Blobos, they are in their element. The Flying Blobos here. A dragon awakened, barely clawing into the playoffs here, and they are looking to dominate the losers bracket run. They're looking to get into the top 3. They're looking to take it all. And Heavy Metal Gundam have to stop the bleeding now. They are no more opportunities here.
Oh.
But the flip from J-Man's going to be there. The piercing shot not going to be enough. Fireman now going to walk it up. The dribbles are there. The tension is mounting. J-Man needs to find this goal right now or else he's going to be KO'd. Not able to find it now, and he might have to suffer the consequences. But Fireman with a breakaway 2v1 yet again. He might just find it here. But no, the pass-throughs come through. The defense from Heavy Metal Gundam are still holding, but it's only just for a moment. Save Forever with possession of the core. The flip on Fire Madden so dangerous as well. Save Forever needs to find some opportunities right now. A double barrier is going to be found, but Flying Blobos, another opportunity each time. They've converted so far. The strike ward comes through. It almost goes in. J-Man finds it, and Pensando here. The flip comes out proactively from Tragic before Pensando gets his hands on it. And now Fire Madden needs to find his opportunity here as we enter in overtime. The barrage goes through. J-Man in a 1v2 situation going to be denied away this time, but the strikes are here. The flip is there. The flip is all that Flying Blobos need. An opportunity comes and opportunity is taken. The Flying Blobos are going to end the series with a dominant 3-0 fashion. They're going to be the ones on the podium, and they're going to be the ones to make it to day number 2.
So well played from Flying Blobs, absolutely. Like, so impressive, phenomenally played from them this series. Especially at the very end, Fire Madden, you could see so many times he could flip the ball. At any moment he could let that fly, but he chose not to every single time because he knew this isn't a guaranteed goal, and at the very end, he found the perfect time to use it and closed out the entire series, securing them a loser's finals position here. And Flying Blobos, if there's any word to describe them, it's breakaways, right? So many, so consistently. So many times they got the ball in any situation, and they had any space to work with, and they converted that into a double barrier, into a goal, and it honestly seemed so stressful to defend against for Tragic and Josh. The backline was looking pretty much demoralized.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I am so curious of what the Flying Blobo comms were on that Fire Madden goal. I mean, that has got to be, that has got to be like a career-defining point coming out from Fire Madden. A 1v3 breakaway on the Kai with the barrage just sends it right into the goal so cleanly. I mean, the Flying Blobos, like I said, I mean, they feel awakened, right? This is a team that everyone expected going into the regular season was going to be the predetermined first, right? And they got setback after setback after setback, and they barely squeaked into the playoffs in what a lot of people consider was a very disappointing end of the regular season for this team. And now the Flying Blobos feels like they've reclaimed that former glory. It feels like they are on the team that was, again, right, just a few goals away from being in the North American Strikers League, let alone NASA, right? It really feels like they are here in full form again, and they have absolutely got a well-deserved spot here on day number 2, and I'm so excited to see them play.
Absolutely. They look nothing if not awakened right now, and we'll have to see if they can carry this momentum over to next week on Sunday as they play in Losers Finals, though I honestly have faith. I think if they can pull off what they did today, I think they have the consistency to do it tomorrow too, and it'll look very scary. I think both teams in winner's side will have to study and be prepared for Flying Blobos because they look so threatening right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the aura is absolutely off the charts for this team, and hey, I mean, that's scary. That is so scary. With as many plays that we saw, with as many threats that Fireman and Pensando and J-Man can do when they're calm, when they are collected, when they are able to find those opportunities to let their mechanical prowess shine, they look like the best team in the league. And that's scary to go against, especially coming in, from winner's side, where you're almost certainly gonna have to stare them down. One of them is gonna have to stare them down, right? So we'll see, though. And we are, I think, at the halfway mark here of our playoff seasons. We have had phenomenal series all across the board, all across the leagues, and we're going to have more of that tomorrow. The North American Strikers Training Grounds is going to continue their playoffs. And after that, the next weekend will be the end of season 6. It will be the conclusion of every single storyline that we've seen in the most competitive season of the NAS so far. You're definitely going to want to see that. We'll be back tomorrow for more games, but that's going to be it from us today.